In today's video, I'm going to tell you all what I personally think are the best roller coaster names out there. I will begin by listing a few honorable mentions and then rank the top 10. This was a difficult list to make as I fully expected, but I do find these to be among the best names out there. As many fantastic coaster names as there really weren't as many great names as I thought there were when I got to digging a bit for this video. My list, of course, is not exhaustive or comprehensive in any way, so if I didn't mention a name you love, then I either didn't think it was a great name, or I didn't want to put it on my list of the best names. So make sure you let me know what your personal favorite roller coaster names are, and let's get started. I'm going to list off 5 honorable mentions to start. Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain at Indiana Beach, very unique name for a very unique, cool looking coaster. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, some of them are just called Big Thunder Mountain, and these are at various Disney parks. They're those classic mine trains that you can find, very cool looking rides. Copperhead Strike at Carowinds, this is a very new one on the list. Great ride that I really enjoyed by Mock Rides, and I love the logo as well, but the name is fantastic. Prowler is an awesome looking GCI at Worlds of Fun, and it just has one of those like menacing names. It just has like that character to it. It feels like it's a living, breathing thing or a creature, if that makes any sense. And I love those kinds of names for coasters, as you'll see with some of my other picks. My last honorable mention is Maverick at Cedar Point. This is a great name. Maverick is a name that's very fitting for that ride as it just throws you around. It's just very whippy, very abrupt. The name definitely fits the theme and the feel of the ride very well. So getting into the proper top 10 list here, at the number 10 spot, I kind of grouped 2 different coasters together that are basically brother-sister coasters. These are Nemesis and Nemesis Inferno. These are both in the UK. These are both B&M inverted coasters. Nemesis is found at Alton Towers, which is the original, opened in 1994. Nemesis Inferno, however, is at Thorpe Park. It's a sequel to the original, or it's intended to be. Nemesis Inferno opened in 2003. Once again, these are just really fitting, great sort of creature, character feeling type of names that just feel like they have like this punch to them, you know? They're just menacing. I love that. I love those kinds of coaster names. So, going into the number 9 spot, we have Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. It's a cool sounding name. Ghost Rider, it's a classic wooden coaster made by CCI. One of the best looking coasters out there. This is one I really want to get to. I would say this is definitely on my bucket list. But it has a cool name too. There's not much else I have to say about this one. So, moving on to number 8, we have Tatsu. At number 8, we have Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And once again, it's a creature. It's another creature name. You guys see the trend going here. I didn't even realize this until I started making this video, but I love all these creature names so much. Tatsu is definitely one of those. It sounds very menacing, and it seems very fitting for the ride because it's a very intense flying coaster. The name fits the theme very well. It does have a cool logo too, by the way. But yeah, Tatsu at Magic Mountain, I think that's a cool, unique name. Number 7, Leviathan. Oh yeah, Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. B&M's very first Giga Coaster, which opened in 2012. Yeah, Leviathan is one of the coolest names, definitely, for a coaster that I've ever heard. It's another creature name. It just sounds big. It sounds menacing. This coaster definitely needed a name like that because it's a huge ride. It's supposed to, give you this big impression as you see it, and it's just epic. It's just a super epic name. Out of all the Giga coasters, Leviathan has the best name, I would say, by far. Number 6 is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. It's an RMC Topper Track coaster. Their very first Topper Track coaster, actually. This looks like a pretty cool ride. Maybe not one of the best RMCs, but it looks like a great ride nonetheless. It has a cool name. It's simple. It fits the atmosphere of the park very well. The theme is kind of you're running after the outlaw or you're running away from the outlaw, something like that. But anyway, Outlaw Run, it's a pretty cool name. I think it's a great fit for this park and ride. Number 5 is Banshee. Banshee is a super intense B&M inverted coaster, Kings Island. The most current B&M invert to open, actually. Yeah, a lot of B&M inverts have really great names, by the way. Honestly, I could have put a lot of them on this list. But yeah, Banshee, fantastic name. Has a pretty cool theme, another menacing type of theme. Like I said, I love the coasters that have those sort of menacing themes to them, you know, spirits and dragons and other things that we'll get to. But yeah, Banshee I think is a fantastic name. It was a name that was supposed to be used actually at Cedar Point many years prior, almost 20 years prior to Banshee at Kings Island. Mantis actually was originally going to be called Banshee, and those plans, we'll just say they fell through not long after the ride was announced. So eventually they used the Banshee name at Kings Island, which is pretty awesome. Number 4, it's another B&M invert. This is Alpengeist at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Alpengeist, it just sounds so cool. Alpengeist. It's a very menacing name. And apparently the name Alpengeist is German for Ghost of the Alps or Alps Spirit. So once again, this is like another like spirit type theme ride. The ride itself is themed to a runaway ski lift. It looks like an awesome invert. To me, it looks kind of underrated. It looks like a really great ride. It's a huge inverted coaster, almost 200 feet tall. Very menacing, and it definitely has a very menacing looking logo and name. I love the name Alpengeist. It just sounds so good to say too, to be quite honest with you. At number 3, we have the only defunct coaster on this list. To be quite honest, I thought about putting this a little bit higher even. Ozark Wildcat, I think, was such a fabulous name. It's such a shame what happened to this GCI. It was only open for a few years. Of course, it was at Celebration City in Branson, Missouri, which was owned by Silver Dollar City. The park lasted for roughly 10 years or so. The coaster only operated for 4 or 5 years, and then it sat standing but not operating for a few years after the park closed, and then it was eventually torn down. Really sad. It looked like it was an awesome smaller scale GCI. It was smaller, 70 to 80 feet tall, somewhere in that range, but I just always thought Ozark Wildcat was such a badass sounding name. I mean, such a cool name. Ozark Wildcat. It's kind of a spin on a classic coaster name, but once again, it sort of gives it that like modern punch, you know? I don't know why, but it just sounds awesome. Number 2 is Boss at Six Flags St. Louis. I feel like this could maybe be a love it or hate it type of name, sort of like the coaster itself maybe. But I think Boss just, Boss, you know, it just sounds so menacing. What else can I say? You know, I love these menacing sounding coaster names. The Boss, you know, you're gonna get bossed if you ride this. I don't know. Is that a thing? Boss, I think, looks like a really cool ride, something I definitely want to experience. But yeah, Boss just has a really cool name. I mean, what other coaster has the name Boss? I mean, none. Just this one. It's the Boss, you know? Boss looks like a phenomenal coaster in my opinion, and it has an amazing name. Boss. Alright, so you might be saying, hey Boss Man, hey Boss Daddy, what's your number 1 favorite coaster name? Well, my number 1 favorite coaster name is The Beast. Yeah, The Beast at Kings Island. To be quite honest with you guys, I could have put so many names from Kings Island on this list because Kings Island just has, as well as amazing logos for their coasters for the most part, Kings Island has some amazing names for their coasters. They do the names so well, and The Beast, it's a super iconic ride, debatably the most famous coaster in the world. Has an iconic logo, and the name The Beast. I mean, you say The Beast, what else do you think of? I mean, there have been other coasters called The Beast or variations of The Beast. The same park even tried to do it for some reason. That one's probably a name for the other list I'm gonna do. But yeah, The Beast. It's a classic name. It's menacing. You know, it's that creature character type of name that I love. The marketing campaign for this coaster when it opened in 1979 was brilliant. Nothing like that had really been done at the time. I could go on and on about this. I know a lot of people don't like The Beast, and that's fine. You don't have to like The Beast. But this is a list of my favorite names. And by golly, The Beast is my favorite roller coaster name, so get over it. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, I want to remind you guys again that this is just for fun. This list is, of course, only my opinion. and I know everyone is going to have different opinions of what the best roller coaster names in the world are, which is great. So be sure to list a few of your favorites so we can discuss them. As usual,